Welcome back to the Clearly Frame Advantage MTG tournament.
Hey, Ailey, you're looking the wrong way. Do you not have your glasses on?
Oh,
yeah, over here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
There you are, yes.
Much better, okay.
Sorry, the cat distracted me and I had my glasses off. Clearly, I need to go to clearly.ca and get myself some good old gamer glasses that are now available in prescriptions because I need that. I'm blind as a bat. I'm going to try to remove my cat from frame here as he desperately looks for some cuddles. And we desperately look towards round number 2 of the action. Let's jump in and see what shenanigans are afoot. This is Good Old Jund Midrange by Vincent Nguyen. Let's take a look-see and see what we can see here, Corey. What do you make of this? What do you make of this deck list?
Yeah, looks really cool here. We're seeing a little bit different from the Jund Werewolf list that we saw. This is more of a controlling go big plan, it looks like, where you have Valky and more importantly Tybalt on the other side, as well as Immerstrom Predator, a nice one with Dragon's Fire. If you're able to attack with it and get it up to 4 power, that's another way for your removal spell to deal 4. Unlike just having Goldspan Dragon, and then you still have the hits of Azeka's Chariot into Renin 7. Must be a typo because I only see 3 Azeka's Chariot, but we'll worry about that later. But yeah, the list looks really cool. A nice little mid-range pile here.
There's a request to see Cat again, so
nice.
Sure. Let's have a look at Mono Green Aggro first, and then we'll look at Cat as a reward, friends. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds good. Tell us about this deck.
This deck looks really sweet to me. I think this is kind of the direction that these Azeka's Chariot decks are heading in when all these Izzet control decks are popping up, where if it's a slower, grindier Azeka's Chariot deck, we saw in round 1, these Izzet decks were able to pick them apart. This style of deck, I think, is just a little bit faster. The removal doesn't line up as cleanly against this deck as it does against some of the other Azeka's Chariot decks. So I think this is essentially the fastest deck in the format, and you get to play Blizzard Brawl as well, which is just an incredibly efficient piece of removal, and you get to play Faceless Haven, which I think is the best creature land, even outside of Den of the Bugbear and Lair of the Hydra.
I wasn't listening to anything you just said, but I'm sure it was all very informative. This is my cat Riot, for those of you who are wondering. He walks all over my everything, including my chair. So yes, I'm going to now commentate a game of Magic with Cat. And so we're going to jump in here and see how this game shakes out. You ready, Corey?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. RINT, as you may recognize the name, is the Mono Green Overlord. That is now his official title. Let it be known.
I like it.
Yes. So I always love seeing what he does with Mono Green. It's very powerful at the moment. Jaspera Sentinel being able to cheat out things earlier. Werewolf Pack Leader, this incredibly powerful 2-drop. Even Kazandu Mammoth gets to stick around in this iteration of the list. So let's get things underway here with a Jaspera Sentinel on turn 1.
Yeah, I never really know how to evaluate Mono Green aggro when RINT is playing it because, well, he plays it quite often, but then I always look like later at an event and I'm like, oh, RINT made the top 8 or RINT won and is constantly doing well in these arena standard events. So I think he's usually onto something. And whenever there's moving parts within this Mono Green deck, he kind of has an exact idea of, okay, the metagame's like this. I want Snakeskin Veil now. The metagame's not like this. I don't want that kind of card. Yeah. All these kind of things he's very good about.
Oh yeah. Anytime I have any interest in playing Mono Green, I go to RINT because you can bet that he has done the legwork and he knows exactly what's good, when, and why. And if Mono Green is not good, he will tell you. He will say, look, don't play this right now. It's kind of poop. Yet the one time that did actually happen and he said, look, don't play that. I played something else. Mono Green went and won everything in that event. So
yeah, well,
maybe he just wanted it all for himself.
Exactly. He was trying to game you. He's like, yeah, don't play this deck. It's so bad right now. It's like the wink wink kind of thing. Yeah, get you good.
Oh, here's another a driver of the cat car. Brybridge Tracker enters the battlefield, makes you a clue token, and can be chucked into a chariot as long as you control an artifact. So it's a super neat little driver for this cat car that we've seen since the new set released.
Yeah, and being able to copy the clue tokens as well is pretty valuable. And one nice play that VSK has available to him at some point is paying 2, turning Velky into a werewolf pack leader, and then attacking with both and drawing a card. I don't think we're going to see it quite yet because it's not very mana efficient. We're probably just going to see this Chariot be jammed, but that is something to keep in mind as a play you can do that is pretty disgusting, to be honest.
Oh, it is quite gross indeed.
Quite good, yeah.
Hybrid Tracker is getting feisty. Gonna swing in here. It is a 4/3, so we'll trade into whichever creature decides to jump in front of it. Snakeskin Veil or no. Let's see if we decide to block here from RINT's side of things.
Has the Snakeskin Veil available as well. Doesn't really help save any creatures, so it's just a question of, yeah, do you want to trade one of these cards? And I think I like that exchange. You're trading up, essentially, is what we like to say, where no matter what, this tracker, the 4/3 is going away, and only a 1/2 or a 2/2 is going away on RINT's side, so RINT's got to be pretty happy about this.
Yeah. You know, so the priority goes back to the attacker. Which do you want to attack first? And then the other one's going to get the counter and survive, so...
Yep, Snakeskin Veil able to save the second one, of course. If you wait, then you weren't able to do that. I would have liked to see VSK play that Shatterskull Smashing before attacking. It's a lot harder to make that block if you do that. Just because if there was a removal spell, then it's just a complete blowout for RINT.
Yeah.
So a minor misstep when no matter what, VSK was going to play that land. And with this being an open deckless tournament, that information would have been out there, and RINT probably would have not blocked like that if that were given the case.
Yeah, would have been interesting to see what the outcome would have been if the Shatterskull Pass came down first. But, you know, irrespective... Things are going as planned here, pretty much, for RINT. I'm going to ask production if we can maybe switch views and check out RINT's side of things, because it's like I'm looking at a board that doesn't have clearly glasses on right now. It's getting a little bit fuzzy at the moment, so let's see if we can get some crisp 4K pristine beautifulness and switch perspectives here. But yeah, getting in a bunch of damage, the Mammoth getting big and chunky, and a cat card drawn off the top here as the turn is passed back to VSK.
Yeah, very nice draw there again. You really have to work pretty hard as the mono green aggro deck to deal with Chariot. You know, you have Chariots of your own, of course, so you can just kind of fight fire with fire. But, you know, RINT just dealt with the one, now has to deal with the second one, especially when Reckless Storm Seekers are coming down. This is going to be pretty rough.
Kazandu Mammoth loves land drops. Gonna get nice and chunky, able to swing on in here. We'll take out some cats along the way if they decide to jump on in here. Down to 12 is VSK, so is gonna be tempted to block here and does so. And the follow-up play here from RINT is gonna be the good old growth troll. Working on that change here, friends. Just hang out for us 2 seconds while we switch the perspectives and jump in along with RINT. There you go. Oh, it's like I've put my clearly gamer glasses on.
Exactly.
Now
that's the prescription I require.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Esika's Chariot and the Old Growth Troll are going to do battle and die subsequently, and Old Growth Troll is going to get attached to a land here. Now, another cool thing that I've seen quite often is the Old Growth Troll token being targeted by Esika's Chariot, and that being copied.
Yeah.
Which is pretty gross.
I think there was a pretty cool play that we could have done here, unless I'm missing something. Oh, no, I guess the mana would not transfer. I was going to say tap that Old Growth Troll for green and then immediately make the 4/4. Yeah, I don't think there was enough mana to do so. But yeah, overall, it's looking really rough for RINT to just stay above water at this point.
Yeah. If anything can get him out of it, it may be Ranger class. As it reveals another Ranger class on top of the library, there is also the land that can be sacked to make a 4/4, with the Old Growth Troll attached to it at the moment. How does an elephant not have trample? I would like to put forth that all elephants should have trample. Have you met an elephant ever gingerly step on? No. It tramples.
That's a good point. I guess I have not met too many elephants. I don't know. I don't know where you have met one, but I'm not going to ask questions.
I have been charged by elephants because you must know I'm from Africa, baby. There are elephants in the streets. No, they're not. But when you go to the Kruger National Park or any other wildlife conservation area, you're going to find elephants. They're going to chase you if you get too close. It is scary.
Fair enough. Yeah, in North Dakota, the only thing we really had to avoid is just the outdoor weather conditions. So that was as scary as it got. So nothing too crazy for me.
That'll probably kill you more often than an elephant will, I imagine.
Probably true. Yeah, absolutely.
So here comes the troll. It is now down on the battlefield. That land is sacrificed, and there's a gnarled professor sitting on top of the library. Yes, I know it's gnarled, but I like saying gnarled, so that can learn.
I prefer Sir Gnarls Barkley there, the professor
Sir
coming down.
Gnarls Barkley, yes.
Yes.
Or as my chat likes to call it, the treacher. Because it's a tree
the
and
treacher.
a teacher. Uh-huh.
Okay. That's pretty clever.
We fancy.
Yeah, and at this point, you got to just start doing math, like how much can RINT attack? How much does he have to leave back? And I even think there was, some attacks that you could get in last turn from the Jun side. And we do also have 2 mana available at end step to sack a clue or turn Velki into a werewolf pack leader. But you got to assume this all-out attack from the Jun deck is going to be coming shortly.
Oh, yeah. Looks like VSK is just picking their turn or their time to attack with all. And we're going to run out the second copy of Ranger class here instead of the Gnarled Professor. Creating that token and using the new token to get that Professor out, courtesy of the Despair Sentinel. This will allow RINT to learn. Let's see what we get off the sideboard here. There is an introduction to Annihilation, Containment Breach, and the good old Mascot Exhibition.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's going to matter here. There's only 2 blockers, so I think the optimal play here is just turn that Velki into a werewolf pack leader, play that Reckless Stormseeker, give it haste, get on in there. I'm only seeing 2 blockers, so it looks like that's going to be 4, 10, 13 damage, if my math is correct. So it should be wrapped up here.
It's pain. That's what's coming.
Yeah, and it's always painful to be like, okay, which one of these cards is going to be best if I somehow don't die next turn? And it's like, it just doesn't matter.
Yes, if my opponent is a merciful god and doesn't murder me, which doesn't seem to be the case with the Reckless Stormseeker coming on down. Yeah, let's get hasty. Ooh, Brybridge Tracker getting chunky. Oh, okay, not a full-out swing.
Uh-oh, Miss Lethal there for sure. From VSK. A little bit of a missed opportunity, and at this point, with not putting out lethal right there, RINT is amassing a bigger battlefield here, and this is a game that RINT could easily get back in. Next turn, RINT can just go Mascot Exhibition and get 3 more blockers. Now you have 5 blockers, and it is no longer a lethal attack, so VSK might be kicking himself a little later rewatching this.
Maybe. The only negative, I guess, to this play that you mentioned is that the Despair Sentinel will have to help out here. But when you're getting 3 extra creatures, tapping your 2 smallest ones, it seems like a fair trade.
Yep. VSK might be watching this backly. We'll be watching this back and ordering a pair of these clearly glasses to see lethal after that one. Oh man, clearly puns are really fun, I must say.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I'll give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into the behind the scenes action here. Hayu and Amani are very sad that we get to make all of the best clearly puns before they jump in the booth, so they're gonna have to work extra hard for their punnage.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for them. So now when they get in the booth, make sure if they copy one of our, pure gold jokes, make sure to chastise them for that. They can't just be taking ours. They need to come up with their own clearly glasses puns. So.
Yes. So you keep an eye out for that, chat, as we get another swing in here, and that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. So many creatures off the battlefield, and here come a bunch more. Mascot Exhibition pooping out 3 tokens. And VSK is going to have to use that clue to find something here. Finds a Tangled Florahedron. That's not what you want to see. And a Temple of the Dragon Queen is certainly not what you want to see either.
Yep. VSK really missed their shot to be able to just win the game with that all-out attack. And now it looks like there's almost no way back. There's going to be so many creatures coming off the top with Ranger class. The battlefield's already bigger for RINT. And hey, this is why you don't concede, right? RINT probably saw the math and was like, yeah, I'm dead. But you know what? Your opponent still has to hit that attack all button. And you know what? Magic's hard. Sometimes you miss lethal, and let your opponent make mistakes is always kind of the main plan.
Even if it seems unlikely, just wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't think the same way your opponent does, so don't give them the easy outs.
Exactly.
Now, do we have lethal this side of things? We've got Faceless Haven. We've got 2 1/1 counters, courtesy of the Ranger class.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it quite yet. 3 blockers. You also got that layer hiding up there to do some damage. So I would imagine this is just going to be a turn where, that layer can only get to 4 power. So we can basically attack with the 2 4-power creatures. Maybe you attack with like the 3/2 and put a couple counters on it and stuff like that. But still want to be somewhat conservative while still presenting lethal so that you kind of put your opponent in this squeeze position where they have to block, so they're not amassing enough creatures to attack back at you, but you're not also attacking too much where you put yourself vulnerable to a top deck haste threat.
Yeah, and both tokens or both counters going on the 4-powered creatures. So the 2/1, if it gets blocked by the Sentinel, will die, but then it's a case of having to double block one of the other 5-powered creatures to kill it. Lair of the Hydra is going to jump in the way of the Faceless Haven. The 5/5, is that going to get through free and clear? Looks like it. So down to 2 goes VSK. And RINT is sitting pretty right now. There's a land off the top of the library. That's not going to do it. And with this massive creatures on this side of things, there is no out here for VSK, unfortunately. So, yeah, good win there for Mono Green.
Yeah, definitely a good win, an unlikely win there. We did not expect that game to be going to RINT, but overall, the early advantage definitely went to VSK being able to get out 2 chariots, and RINT just had to use so many resources to deal with it, and then it left over all these cats. But with that miss lethal, just gave RINT the opportunity to just play bigger creatures, and that is the one thing Mono Green is very good at, is just playing gigantic threats. As well as being paired with some of the best cards in the format, as Aegis Chariot and Ren. So a really nice deck here from RINT. I really like it.
I mean, if you're not playing massive creatures, are you even Mono Green? That's one of those that's one of those questions in life you just ask yourself, besides, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah. Yeah. Or if like a Ren Treefolk token dies in combat, does it make a sound? I mean, these are mysteries to all of us. Yeah.
All of life's unanswered questions.
Yeah. Hey, we're here for it. We're here for it to answer some of these throughout this broadcast.
Yeah, we'll do our best, but don't take our word for it, see?
Yeah, deep philosophers that should not be trusted, I think is a good yeah.
Sounds like most of the internet, to be honest.
Well, now you're actually getting correct into these deep philosophy talks, huh? That is just correct.
Oh, my goodness me. Let's take a look at these opening hands here. A mulligan from VSK on Jund midrange. Just going to fire things off. We'll start things off with Lair of the Hydra and Jaspera Sentinel. On the other side of things here, RINT sitting pretty with a Kazandu Valley to start into. Werewolf pack leaders aplenty, Blizzard Brawls as well to clear off this battlefield from VSK, so things looking super good so far on this side of things.
Yeah, honestly, pretty good on both sides, except for the clearly blurriness on the top. But outside of this, for both plays, it is looking really strong. Being able to get Immerstrom Predator down or Dragon's Fire this creature right now, and then get Immerstrom Predator next turn. And then RINT just has the ability to go Werewolf Pack Leader into Blizzard Brawl on Magda for next turn. So great starts by both players.
Yeah. Certainly what you want to see from both game plans. Jaspera Sentinel and Magda doing what they do best, creating extra mana and allowing them to get down these threats one turn ahead of schedule. Immerstone Predator hits the board, is able to sacrifice things to gain Indestructible, which will be super duper useful against creatures and the Blizzard Brawls. Now, no 3 snow permanents right now, so won't give it Indestructible.
But we'll tap it to get that extra +1/+1 counter. And that is the thing with these Immerstrom Predators. The indestructibility is incredible, especially against a mono green deck where its only way to remove stuff is like fight spells. So this is just going to attack for 5. Then this is just going to attack for 6. It's going to keep going up.
Oh, yeah.
And it can get chumped by Jaspera Sentinel or something. But that's going to be a huge problem. Azika's Chariot is going to be decent at trying to just flip the switch and try to be the aggressor. But you know, at this point, this Immerstrom Predator is a 2-turn clock. I just really don't see it.
Yep. I mean, there is Inscription of Abundance, if we're able to kick that from RINT's side of things. Can gain the life equal to its, his most powerful creature. But yeah, if there's no answer for this Immerstone Predator, it's going to run away with the game. So now it's a face race. And with the Ren and 7 being drawn off the top of the library, the face race is going to be won by VSK.
Yeah, that was a great draw. But honestly, that's really what RINT needs, is one of these giant reach blockers. And even at this point, if we were to draw Ren and 7 from RINT's side, it's only a 5/5. You can Azika's Chariot to then copy it. So you kind of have 2 blockers, but they're just chump blockers for Immerstrom Predator at this point. But that would be a good draw.
Yep. Fortunately, it's a snow-covered forest, so no tree people for RINT to dump down on the battlefield. It's gonna have to start thinking about clearing out some of these creatures on the other side of things. Does have 2 fight spells and Inscription of Abundance. Can also draw a card here with Werewolf Pack Leader. But we'll want to get rid of this big 4/4 in the way.
Yeah, pretty rough spot here for RINT. I just don't really see a way out of this. Gain some life with Inscription, I think, is what we kind of have to do. Put a couple counters on. You can fight the Tree Folk, I guess. Put 2 counters on the Pack Leader, fight the Tree Folk, gain 5 life. That can kind of keep you alive. That is pretty good. Inscription of Abundance is a pretty strong card. And if you can make it through the turn, maybe you can push through enough damage where you can actually present lethal on RINT's next turn. And I think that's all RINT is thinking about. That's the only way to truly get it done here.
Yep, and gonna go for the Azika's Chariot instead. Get that 1 extra life, fight this tree folk, get it out the way, and maybe even swing at Ren here. Nah, that doesn't really do anything.
That was pretty good too, just because Azika's Chariot, even if it fought that Tree Folk, it has, I think you have to go face. Ren and 7 just doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
But Azika's Chariot, putting it on Azika's Chariot, that means if it were to fight and it gets 2 damage on it, that Jaspera Sentinel is just a chump blocker as well. So yeah, a nice use of that card from RINT.
And VSK recognizing that there is a lot of power on this battlefield now, so just preserving the life total is going to be very important. Power Word Kill drawn at the top of the library. That'll deal with a pesky Chariot.
That was a great draw.
Oh, yeah.
Now you get to attack with this. And, okay. So this is kind of interesting. There might be a scenario here where VSK has to block with the Tangled Florahedron and maybe taps out with Lair, and this Blizzard Brawl could actually, in combination with the Azika's Chariot being a 6/6, actually fight Immerstrom Predator and just trade. Now we'll see if that happens, because VSK has to essentially tap out and block with Tangled Florahedron and Lair. But if that does happen, RINT could take out VSK's only threat.
Yeah. I'm just considering playing out this old growth troll as the crew for the chariot. Does RINT sniff out the removal spell? I mean, he's got to go for it because next turn he's dead. He doesn't have an answer for this predator, so...
Mm-hmm.
If he can get if he can get this Florahedron off the battlefield.
The problem is it needs to get the Florahedron off the battlefield and also hope that VSK forgets you can just lair for one and then sack the lair to Innistrad Predator. Okay, going for this route. So you can power word kill the cat now to prevent this from happening. I think no matter what, the power word kill is going to keep VSK alive, and then Innistrad Predator is going to be able to win this game. But it was close. If there was one more fight spell here, RINT would have snuck this game out from under him.
Yeah. Certainly so.
Yeah. I guess we have a draw spell here. If we get Inscription, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Ah.
Ooh, brick.
Lands, come on now. They're never there in the right amounts when you need them. And VSK survives on 4 life, finds a Reckless Stormseeker. Brennan 7 will minus again to put that tree down on the battlefield. And Innistrad Predator just has to swing sideways, chow something in the graveyard, and smack for 8. All right, game of peace for both players.
Yeah, impressive stuff there. Yeah, RINT could have even drawn like just Sparrow Sentinel or something to be able to buy him a little bit of time. So impressive match so far. Let's see who takes it. Who do you think's got this game 3?
All right, we do still have a game 3 for this matchup. So just seeing where we're going to go.
Okay. Who are you going for? Who do you think's going to take this 3rd game, Ailey?
I think it's going to be Mono Green.
You think it's Mono Green? I think I got Mono Green as well. Now, Mono Green... yeah, is on the play, so huge advantage if you can just curve out with that deck. It is such a scary deck to defend. But we will see.
Yeah. I love how quick the sideboarding is for RINT. He's just like this, that. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I've seen this type of decks hundreds of times. I know how to sideboard it perfectly. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, let's rock and roll. Game number 3 here, and that is not what you want to see. You kind of need lands to play spells. There is 2 lands, at least, so sure, we'll keep that. Library, please behave.
Yep. Yeah, that hand is perfectly fine. You would love to get another land, maybe 2 off the top from RINT, but even being able to just go Ranger class into Werewolf Pack Leader, and then the following turn... maybe you're able to Blizzard Brawl or Inscription to put some counters on it and then attack and start drawing some cards. That's really what you want to see.
So Ranger class, the first thing down on the battlefield, along with the little wolf that it makes. See a Thundering Rebuke there in hand for VSK. Wants to get rid of this poor little pooch. And you know what? The 2/2 dying, that's fine. That means that the Werewolf Pack Leader should survive at least a turn. And that's going to be RINT's turn 3 play. Turn gets passed back. There's another Brennan 7 in hand for VSK. And Brybridge Tracker is going to be the first thing down on the board for him.
Yeah, a nice little card here, giving me some Tireless Tracker vibes for anybody who remembers that card. Oh, man, did I love that Magic card. So now we have Inscription as a really nice combat trick, and RINT even has the ability to go... Too bad he didn't hit a Snowland because Blizzard Brawl would be able to pump, but being able to go Inscription as a combat trick here, and even if he so chooses, Inscription and then Blizzard Brawl to just clean this up, but the block there is perfect for RINT. RINT's got to be super happy about that.
Yes, indeedy. Reckless Stormseeker is going to hit the battlefield, and now it's a good old woo-off, as the 3/3, courtesy of its ability, is going to swing in there for 2 points of damage. Pack Leader getting nice chunky, though, and is able to Blizzard Brawl away this pesky little haste maker.
So unfortunate that you don't have that 1 extra snow permanent. Not being able to get that to 6 power to draw a card is kind of frustrating.
That would have been so nice.
It would have been really good. Any Snowland there would have been sweet, but still, Very good start, especially from an opponent that is missing land drops. And another Reckless Stormseeker is not what the doctor ordered here.
Yeah, at best it's chump blocking, but if RINT so chooses, can just give these wolves trample. Why do the wolves have trample and not the elephants? I need to ask someone questions. But a Snowland found off the top here and can get Ren and 7 down. But let's see what the cards drawn are. There's Ranger Class and another Snow-Covered Forest. So things looking very, very good here from Mono Green. Just snowballing his way to victory at this point, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. And this really shows the power of Werewolf Pack Leader. It's something that I kind of thought we were only going to see in Werewolf decks, but now you don't have to really play all those deck constrictions where you're just playing a bunch of tribal cards. Now you just get to play just good green creatures. And if you get to draw some cards here and there with it, that's just gravy. And it just has a great ability of being able to pump it essentially +2/+0 and give it trample. So an incredible 2-drop.
Yeah, it's very powerful. When we saw this, we were like, oh yeah, this card's gonna see play.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And now...
especially with Ranger Class too, and yeah, it just looks great.
Oh yeah, it's real nasty. Speaking of Ranger Class, here comes another one down on the battlefield. Both up to level 2 now, so we are gonna put counters on things, and we are swinging. There's only one blocker. Power Word Kill is in hand and available to kill something here, but... yeah, this ain't looking super hot for VSK.
No, not good at all. And I would have really liked that Power Word Kill pre-combat. Just, you got to stop this card engine.
Yeah.
You know, this will take down VSK at some point, and now you're killing a 6/6 after attack, so they still get that value. Regardless, a bad situation for VSK, and I don't think there's a way out of this, even with Chariot. But yeah.
Yeah.
Really impressive stuff here from RINT.
Yep. That's how you want to see your mono green games go. You just want to dump dudes down on the battlefield, turn them sideways, and make your opponent's face disappear, which is exactly what we saw there in Game 3. Tough luck for VSK not finding lands, but yeah, it's great to see these decks in action, Corey.
Yeah, I love it. Mono Green Snow, I think, is the go-to aggressive deck in the format right now. It just plays extremely powerful creatures for their mana cost, and it seems really tough for the Izzet deck's removal to line up really clearly against them. Like, you put an Old Growth Troll, you put a counter on an Old Growth Troll, how do you ever kill that card? You know, like, 5/5s are not really in the realm of being able to be dealt with. So, yeah, it looks good to me. I'll be excited to see how RINT does.